Hey everybody, it's Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches and welcome to my channel. Today is Tuesday, February 25th, 2025, and this is Flosstube number 124. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. This is a channel mostly about cross stitch. Every now and then I might throw in some other stitchy goodness, and today I might do that at the end. But for the most part, this is a channel about cross stitch. I'm a little out of practice. I used to do weekly videos, but life took a turn. And so I really stopped stitching for almost a year. And then lately I've been able to get a lot more stitching in. And so I'm hoping to return back to weekly videos. So thank you so much for joining. If you're a returner, thank you so much for coming back. I know I've missed everybody's comments. So thank you everyone for your comments on my last Flosstube. It really means a lot to me. Okay, so this month, so my last video was, was January 28th. So about a month ago. And so I got a lot done. I got 2 new starts. I'm going to show one of them at the beginning and one of them at the end. And so you'll see those. No finishes at all, but I got my whip go stitching done. I still have a little bit left to do on one of them. And so anyway, so that's what I have for you guys this week. I do have one crochet project. Like I said, I'll probably show that at the end. Okay, so let's get started. I have a new start. Oh, I don't have my book. I can't find my book, and I'll tell you all about that later. My book with all of my cover sheets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a picture somewhere up here of what the project looks like. So the first new start is Books of the Bible, and I believe it's by My Big Toe Designs. I originally saw this, Stitchin' Mommy has been stitching it. And so I originally saw her stitching it, and I was intrigued. I was intrigued by it, but it wasn't until Renewing Stitches mentioned that she is stitching hers as she reads the book of the Bible. Well, my church is doing a reading plan, and we are doing the Bible recap. And so we are reading through the books of the Bible in chronological order. Now, if you've never read through the books of the Bible in chronological order, I suggest you do it this way. It is so much more interesting. I don't know, you just get a better feel for where everything fits in the great plan, in the big plan. So it was really interesting. But anyway, so I decided I was going to stitch mine. Now, this is on a 28 count, I don't know, natural linen. I think it's from Hobby Lobby. So this is what I got started so far. So we've read through Genesis and Exodus and Job, and we just finished Leviticus and we started Numbers. So I'm going to try to stitch Leviticus today. So this is what I got done. So I'm just trying to get a little bit of this part in throughout, you can see not much, but throughout the month as I read through the Bible. And then when I finish a book, I go ahead and I stitch it. Now what I'm doing is in the chart, when you look at it right there, you'll see everything's in this brown color. The words, everything's in this brown color. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I did not want to do that. So I'm reaching, hold on. So what I did was I went through my very limited supply of fancy floss, and I picked out a bunch of purples. And so I'm going to do the books of the Bible by genre, and stitch each genre in a different purple. So here's all my purples, and so each one is going to be a different color purple using up my fancy floss. So anyway, so the first genre that we're reading is the books of the law, which are Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And then Job, which you saw down at the bottom, is one of the books of the poetry. So the rest of the poetry books will be in that color. So the books of the law, I am stitching in Classic Colorworks Pansy Purple. And then poetry, I'm stitching in Purple Rain. So again, here it is. My books of the Bible. I love it. So I need to get stitching up here. So I'm using all fancy floss, even for the flowers. I picked out a couple of different burgundies and reds that I'm going to throw in there. But this I am using a DMC conversion. So that's one of my new starts that I am doing. I just couldn't not do it, especially since, you know, this is the first time our church has done this. You know, our pastor always encourages reading through the Bible, but this is the first time he's like set up, hey, we're all going through this particular plan. So I'm excited about that. Excited. Okay. Anyway, in that I got 407 stitches this month when I started it, and that's at 3.31%. All right, next up is a project I started last month, and that is my Pinker and Pumpkin houses. If you want a little more information about that, you can go into my last Flosstube 123 where I talk about starting it. So here it is. So I was able to finish a little bit more in January's house, and I did not do much in February at all. So what I have 3 days left of February. So I'm gonna try to work on that in the next couple of days and get some more done in my February house, at least start the house, which, well, I mean, I kind of sort of did right there. You can see it, but at least get some of the house started. So this is my Pinker and Pumpkin houses. There it is. So that I worked on for 4 hours. And that was completing all this and part of February. So that's it. Putting them right here on the floor. Okay, the next thing is Autumn Street. And since I don't have my paper, I can't tell you who it's from, but I'll put all that information here for you guys. Autumn Street, I got 1,095 stitches in. What I'm doing is I'm going down my pattern keeper list of floss, and I'm picking the things that have the least amount of stitches that are kind of in one spot, you know, or at least not too spread out. And so I've been doing that, and it's going quick because I'm doing just one color. I'm not switching colors around. So I got 1,095 stitches, for anything that's under 200, I should say that. And so I got 17.44% done. This is done on a 14 count. I don't know, some Ada that I probably got at a thrift store. So this is what I have done. So you can kind of, seeing it in the camera, I can kind of see my little town starting with the little road. So that's it right there. So I just, like I said, I'm just color completing. Y'all, I'm going to try to start doing the whole, this is what you saw last week and this is what you see now thing. But that's really hard for me to stay organized that way. But I'm going to try, especially with things like this, where you're going, okay, Rachel, unless I saw last week's video, I really don't know what you did. But what I'm going to see if I can tell y'all. I did finish up here. I know that. I did a lot of this red color and this green right here. Anyway, I love this. It is full coverage. It's going to end up being round, but it's a great stitch. And it's really one of my, if I feel like stitching, but I don't feel like thinking stitches, because it is on 14 count. It's a little bit, you know, easier on the eyes to work on. So that is Autumn Street. Okay, so let's talk about my Whip Go calls. Whip Go this month. Oh, and I forgot to check. I forgot to see if she, I'm gonna have to look that up. If she announced this March's numbers. I need to check that. I was supposed to check that before I did this. Okay, so this is a artsy pattern. It is called Mini Beauty and Strength. And I got 888 stitches on this. Yes. So what I'm doing for this also is I'm trying to work my way up. This is the total width of it right here. And then it's gonna go up. And I'm filling in stitches, y'all. Just filling in stitches. And it's been going pretty quick. So I'm at 888 stitches completed this month, this go round since the last Flosstube. And I'm at 15.26%. I don't know if I said that or not. Sorry if I'm repeating myself, but that's it. So yeah, I'm starting to work my way up. That's all I'm doing. She's so pretty, y'all. I really want to get this one finished because she's so pretty. So that is Mini Beauty and Strength, and it is an artsy pattern. I love Artisy's minis. I know I've said this before. They have great minis, full of detail and not huge. Okay, the next one I got was Mini Patchwork Quilt Room, and this is a Heaven and Earth pattern. I got, not a lot, but I still got 3 days left. I got 385 stitches and I'm at 4.12%. I'm doing the same thing that I'm doing for the mini patchwork. This one's going to be a lot bigger, but it's not going to be as tall. Okay, so this is it right here. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just finding colors and filling them in. I want to get to where I have the first two right here squares done and then work all the way across. That's what I want to do. That's my plan. And then what I want to do is try to start working by 10 by 10s. Not totally and completely, but you know, try to get a 10 by 10 finished in one sitting. I know I'll probably, in one day. Let me put it to you that way, in one day. So that's it. So colorful. I love it. It's a great piece. So that is Mini Patchwork Quilt Room. I had an art design charted it. Okay, so I have picked up my 25/7 piece. If you've been with me for any length of time, you know what that is. That is a mid-Amish life. It is a chart from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts in 1987. It is a 3-part chart, and like some people, I'm stitching mine as one big chart. I was able to put 1.5 hours in it. So y'all will be seeing this hopefully every Flosstube. I really want to get back into stitching on it daily. I really do. So I stitched the black up here at the top, and you can see some of the little, however they are at the bottom, some of these right here. And I did fill in, I'm trying to finish, so right around here is a page break of the same chart. And so I'm trying to finish that page so that I can move on, because you know, going back and forth is just not good for me. I'm not very good at it, I should say. So that is what I did, mainly most of this, and then just finding things in that first chart to see that I can finish. Look at that, y'all. I still love this piece. Love it, love it. I don't like stitching on this fabric though. It's not a pleasant fabric to stitch on. It's not at all. I don't know, there's just something, I don't know if it's because the holes are too small. It's gotta be a 36 or a 38 count. I'm not sure what it is. It's something mystery that I had in my stash, but it is hard for me to stitch on it. Very, very hard. Okay, so my last new start. I was watching Red's, I think it's Red Stitchery. I'm gonna put her name down here if I'm wrong, but I think it's Red Stitchery. And she posted that she wanted to do a new start starting February 20th. And when she showed the chart, I was like, I have that chart and I've been wanting to stitch it. It's a smallish chart, but it is a Nora Corbett, and that is Gathering Eggs. Now I watched, Dina, I'm gonna put her channel name down here, stitch this. And I always loved it. And one day this magazine came up on, you know, a D-stash, and I caught it like within a minute, and I was like, I want that chart. I want that magazine. And so it's Gathering Eggs. And I put out some feelers out there about fabric choices. And I actually went with something absolutely, totally, and completely not of my original 3 choices. I was kind of hemming and hawing about what I wanted to do, and I found this piece of fabric in my stash that I bought at a thrift store, my creative reuse store, and it was the perfect size. I'm like, was she gonna stitch this? So anyway, so here is my start. I stitched on it for 2 hours, and that's what I got done. So you can see here, I got this little part done right here and some of her arm. So I started in the middle mainly because I want to work my way to the bottom, but I also want to work my way across. I have enough fabric. It's going to be a little tight, but it's enough. I think it's enough. I don't know what count it is. It's stitching kind of like a 32, maybe a 28. So I need to check it and see what the count is, but that's what I got done. Yay! So that is Gathering Eggs, and that is another new start that I did. So I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna get my crochet and show you guys what I'm working on. Okay, I'm back. All right, so when I first started learning how to crochet, I put out feelers to Free Cycle. Y'all remember Free Cycle? And asked if anybody had any leftover yarn that they wanted to get rid of. It's just so that I could practice. I said I was learning how to crochet. My mom had taught me when I was little and I wanted to pick it up again. And I had 2 or 3 people reach out to me and say, I have some, you could have them. You know, I made my projects. I don't want to keep them or whatever. And so I went and picked them up. And I made my husband a blanket. It was originally supposed to be a picnic blanket, but he tried it once and claimed it. He was like, this is my blanket. And he's had that blanket, I don't know, we've been in Louisiana 7 years, probably a good 15 years. And we call it James's Technicolor blanket. It's basically my Joseph blanket. It's just, I started out calling it the ugly blanket and decided not to, so I call it my Joseph blanket. Well, in 2020, right about there, might have been late 2019, I had a bunch of Vanna White yarn. And if you crochet or knit, you probably know what I'm talking about. A bunch of Vanna White yarn and just varying amounts of what was left, I should say. And so I decided I was going to sit down and make me a blanket like my husband's with this Vanna White yarn. So this is it right here. So I started making it and I promptly shoved it in a bag because at that point I started really crocheting a lot, cross-stitching a lot. So the other day my husband was watching TV, and when my husband watches a movie, he likes to turn the lights out in the room. And so cross-stitching is just not going to happen. I can crochet because there's still some light and I don't really need that much light for I'm just doing a single crochet. That's it. And so I picked this up because it gave my hands something to do, gave my brain something to do, but I can still watch the movie with him. So this is it. I'm hiding myself here, but this is it. You can see they're just all different lengths, you know, widths, whatever I had left. And whenever it ends, I start a new color. I don't care if it's in the middle of a row or not. But that's what I'm doing. It's pretty wide. I would say it would probably drape nicely over a twin bed. But here you go. You can see, look, see the different colors. I love it. I love it. So I'm just pulling out. If it's a full skein, I stitch the full skein as is. These are probably 2 full skeins right there. If it's partial, I stitch the partial. So I try to vary the, you know, if it's a full or a partial. I don't have very many partials left. I'm starting to use all those up. So I'm trying to, like, you know, make sure that I get some partials in between my fulls. So anyway, so that's my crochet. I don't want my hook to fall. Hold on. Okay, there you go. So anyway, so that's my crochet. That's all my stitching. That's all I have. If that's all you're here for, thank you for watching. I'm going to delve in a little into personal life, kind of give you guys an update of our life. So anyway, so today is February 25th. It is my mom and dad's, what would have been their 58th wedding anniversary. So that means my brother will turn 58 in November. He was born, let me see. He was born a week early. And of course, you know, but I mean, she wouldn't anyway. Oh, that's why they got married. Yeah, because she knew in a week that she was pregnant. But anyhow, so, you know, forget the fact that they had been planning a wedding. But anyway, so anyway, so it would be my parents' 58th wedding anniversary. So my brother texted me this morning, happy anniversary to the start of our beginnings, or something like that. But anyway, so it would be their anniversary. So this morning I was a little emotional, and I'm also a little emotional for another reason, and that is our son and his wife and 2 kids moved out. So my babies are gone. All 4 of them are gone. It was very hard on me. We have them at MDO at our church, and starting next week, they'll be going to daycare full time. They're both working full time, and I have a bad hip. And if you don't know, our granddaughters, in March, the youngest will be 1, and in April, the oldest will be 2. So I can't, if my hip weren't so bad, I would be able to, you know, lift and care, and I just can't. So they're going to be going to daycare every day. And so I miss them. I miss them a lot. The last 2 weeks, they moved out last Monday. And so the last 2 weeks, I've been able to take them to MDO and still kind of see them. They will spend the night on Saturday nights and come to church with my husband and I. My son and daughter-in-law both want that. And so they're going to come to church with us on Sundays. So we'll get to see them every Saturday, afternoon and Sunday. So that'll be good. But boy, I miss that waking up and walking out my door and having a little one run up to me or coming in from wherever and Granny, So that's a little, I've been emotional, been very emotional. I've been emotional at Mother's Day out because I'm going to miss them being there. They've established great bonds with their teachers and everything, but I know that they're going to do that at daycare. It's not going to be, it's not going to be terrible. This is coming from a homeschool mom. So it's not terrible. I have to keep telling myself that it's not terrible, but, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. So my house is empty. My husband and I were just like, even at night, we're like, it's so quiet because everybody's sleeping, but still like so quiet. It just feels so quiet in here. And, so I'm stitching more. I'm sitting down. I'm getting more stitching done, which is why I got 1,000 stitches on Autumn Street and 888 stitches on Mini Beauty and Strength. I'm getting a lot of stitching done again. So that's why I'm hoping that I can continue doing weekly Flosstube updates. Going back into it. I've missed this. I've missed talking with you guys and showing you what I've done and everything. And so that's just, our new normal. And we're back to being empty nesters, which is nice. We knew the day was coming because, my son finished school. My daughter-in-law is almost done. She'll graduate in December, but she's working, too, while going to school. So we knew this was temporary, but still, it's just a little heart, And so, anyway, our house was getting crowded, but, it was fun. It was fun, nothing like the laughter of little children. But anyway, so that is our, my update. Now, I don't know if I'm going to film next Tuesday. It is Mardi Gras next Tuesday. And my husband has mentioned getting out of Dodge. He's off for the whole week. And so we're thinking about maybe taking, a couple of days and just going somewhere where we don't have to deal with the chaos of Mardi Gras. And so, anyhow, but here in the South, there are still a lot of towns that do, within a drive of us that do Mardi Gras. So we might head a little up north and find some place that doesn't have Mardi Gras. But anyway, it's funny because I remember one year, my parents always left town for Mardi Gras. They were like, we're leaving town, we're leaving. And so we would leave and we would go somewhere. Usually we'd go to Arkansas or, somewhere like that. And one year my dad decided, I'm taking the family to Hawaii. I was 12 years old. I remember telling him, you're going to take me to Hawaii when I'm 12. Why can't you wait till I'm like 16 or 17? I can really enjoy it. I was a 12-year-old telling my dad this. Anyway, so he took us to Hawaii because we thought we're going to get away from the festivities. We're going to get rid of, get away from the revelry. We're going to get away from all that. We get to Hawaii. It's the Chinese New Year and there are parades everywhere. It was so loud. But anyway, my parents were much like me and they took us out of the city and we went to see all the nature. And so I guess I should say I'm like my parents. But anyway, so it's kind of a funny story because we always left to get away from the parades and everything like that. Because our town just, it's not bad like New Orleans. We have a lot of parades. And so the roads are blocked off, stores are closed, restaurants are closed. It's too much, too many people, too people-y. So anyway, so my husband and I like to leave. So I think we're going to do that. But anyway, so we're empty nesters. And so hopefully I can get some stitching done. Hopefully I can get back into talking with you guys about what I'm stitching, watching more Flosstubes. I've missed everything. And so anyway, I'm back. Yay. Hoping to get some more stitching done. That's what we're probably going to do next weekend is move my sewing room from this room back here, which is the dining room, and back into one of the back bedrooms, and move my sewing room back in there. I liked it better in there than in the dining room. I always felt too exposed. But anyway, so that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, for staying through my life updates. Anyway, I hope to see you guys next week. If not, the week after next. Lord willing, happy stitching, everybody. Bye-bye.